She should have vanished into the background, a forgotten daughter of a doomed queen. But instead, she rewrote history, dominated a golden age, and left a legacy that outshined kings. Queen Elizabeth. The First's rise wasn't a fairy tale. It was survival, strategy, and brilliance at its peak. Elizabeth Tudor was born into a world that didn't want her. In 1533, her birth disappointed her father, King Henry VIII, who wanted a son. Her mother, Anne Boleyn, was later executed for treason and adultery. Accusations many historians still argue were trumped-up charges to make room for Henry's next wife. After her mother's death, Elizabeth was declared illegitimate and removed from the line of succession. Her title was stripped, her future uncertain. But instead of fading into obscurity, Elizabeth observed, learned, and waited. She grew up among scholars, learning Latin, Greek, theology, and rhetoric, becoming one of the most educated women of her time. Cats roamed the royal corridors just as she did, silent observers of a girl shaped by betrayal and ambition. Her life took a darker turn under her half-sister, Mary Thigh. Elizabeth was a Protestant, Mary a Catholic, and that religious divide could be fatal. When a rebellion arose that Mary suspected Elizabeth of supporting, she was imprisoned in the Tower of London. It wasn't just a cell. It was a death sentence waiting for a signature. And yet, Elizabeth remained composed. Her famous letter to Mary, begging for her life, was written with measured grace and defiant strength. For 2 months she sat in the same tower where her mother lost her life. At any moment, history could have ended her story. But it didn't. She survived, barely. And that survival etched into her soul the need to stay 3 steps ahead. In 1558, Queen Mary died childless. Elizabeth, at age 25, became queen. The daughter of the woman who'd been condemned now wore the crown of England. Her coronation was both spectacle and signal. The new era had begun. But the kingdom she inherited was a mess. England was financially crippled, religiously divided, and diplomatically isolated. Elizabeth's response? She chose balance. She reinstated Protestantism, but allowed for some Catholic practices. She restructured the economy and reformed the Church of England, all while avoiding open rebellion. She used pageantry to build loyalty, parading through the streets, smiling, waving. She became the symbol of strength and unity in a country desperate for both. The Virgin Queen myth was born here, carefully crafted, politically brilliant. Elizabeth never married. In a time when women were expected to wed quickly and produce heirs, this was scandalous. But it was also genius. Marriage meant power, but also compromise. Elizabeth chose neither. Instead, she played suitors off each other. The King of Spain, the Duke of Anjou, archdukes and princes all courted her. She entertained them, but committed to none. This kept England diplomatically flexible and her power intact. Her closest relationship was with Robert Dudley, a childhood friend and lifelong companion. Some believe he was the love of her life. Others say she never loved at all. What's clear is that Elizabeth made personal sacrifice the cost of national stability, and paid it in full. Under her reign, England flourished. The Elizabethan age was marked by a cultural explosion. William Shakespeare penned his masterpieces, Francis Bacon philosophized, and the English language blossomed. Theaters rose in popularity. Explorers like Sir Walter Raleigh and Sir Francis Drake pushed the boundaries of the known world. Trade expanded. Naval strength soared. Elizabeth championed the arts and science alike, becoming not just a monarch, but a muse for a new era. Her court became legendary, full of poets, playwrights, diplomats, and yes, plenty of cats slinking through candle-lit corridors as sonnets were born and strategies devised. By 1588, tensions with Catholic Spain exploded. King Philip II sent a fleet of 130 ships to invade England and dethrone the Protestant queen. The threat was real, the enemy vast. Elizabeth's response was legendary. She appeared before her troops in Tilbury, clad in armor, and declared, I know I have the body of a weak and feeble woman, but I have the heart and stomach of a king. Her navy, with smaller and faster ships, outmaneuvered the mighty Armada. Storms and strategy crippled Spain's advance. It was a turning point, not just militarily, but psychologically. England had defeated a superpower. Elizabeth was untouchable. Perhaps the most haunting decision Elizabeth ever made was the execution of her cousin, Mary Stuart, Queen of Scots. Mary had long been a figurehead for Catholic rebellion. She fled to England for safety, but Elizabeth kept her under house arrest for 19 years. Conspiracies brewed. Letters revealed Mary's involvement in a plot to assassinate Elizabeth. The Queen agonized, but ultimately signed the death warrant. Mary was beheaded in 1587. It broke Elizabeth. She locked herself in her chamber for days, refusing to eat. She had ended a family bond to protect her realm. It was the heaviest crown she ever wore. In the 1590s, her world began to change. Her trusted advisors passed away: William Cecil, Francis Walsingham. Even Dudley, her closest friend, died. The court she once dazzled now looked to her with whispers of too old, too alone. Famine hit parts of England. Rebellions flared in Ireland. The once vibrant queen grew somber. She wore white, mourning everyone she'd lost. She refused to name an heir, clinging to the throne. In 1603, after 45 years of rule, Elizabeth died in Richmond Palace. Her body was laid to rest in Westminster Abbey, above her sister Mary's grave, with the inscription, "Partners in throne and grave, here rest two sisters." Elizabeth I wasn't just a monarch. She was a masterclass in leadership, image, and resilience. Born into scandal, she carved her path with intellect and poise. She stood alone, by choice and necessity, and steered her nation through transformation. She left no child behind, but birthed a legacy that shaped modern England. Her legend lives in literature, law, and leadership. And in every story of a woman who refuses to be defined by the world around her, there's a shadow of Elizabeth I. If you were captivated by the tale of Queen Elizabeth I, drop a like, share this with a history lover, and subscribe for more deep dives into the minds and moments that changed the world forever.